If you're looking for the fudgiest vegan double chocolate chip cookies, you've come to the right place. Hi, hello, my name is Britt and I'm the vegan food blogger behind the Banana Diaries. And today we're making one of my #1 recipes on the blog. It is my vegan double chocolate chip cookies. I'm surprised that it's taken me so long to make a video for these because they're freaking phenomenal and they come out so perfectly every single time. You can make them gluten-free. They're one bowl, no chill cookie dough, ready in 20 minutes. There's so much to sell these on. They're just so good. So let's stop talking and get to making these cookies. All right guys, so because this is a no chill cookie dough, I've already preheated our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and I've lined 2 baking sheets with parchment paper. We are going to be moving fast with this cookie dough, so you do want your oven to be preheated properly because as soon as you're done with this cookie dough, we're gonna scoop it and get it right into the oven because we want you to enjoy these cookies as fast as possible. So to start, we have 150 grams of melted vegan butter. Most cookie recipes call for room temperature, and for a while I did too. But this recipe is just so lovely, you don't actually need it. I've developed it because I, for a while, was really struggling with the texture of vegan cookies. And I've discovered that when you combine melted vegan butter with the proper amount of sugar and dairy-free yogurt, you get a perfect cookie texture. So that's why we're doing that. We also have 150 grams or 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Super important because this is the moisture in the cookie. We also have the granulated sugar. Freaked out for a second, thought I didn't measure it. We have 1/2 cup or 100 grams of granulated sugar. Be sure that it's vegan. I'm gonna say it in every video because we have newcomers coming all the time and I want you to use vegan sugar. Not all sugar is vegan. It's a disgusting reason why it's not vegan, and personally, I find it really upsetting. Anyways, we're not gonna go into that. Once our sugar is in with our melted vegan butter, we're just going to whisk to combine. How easy is it that you don't even need a hand mixer? I mean, I really wanna sell these cookies here for you because they're just freaking amazing and my neighbors go nuts for them. I'm constantly getting asked, can I make a batch for them? Or they've made them and they're obsessed and they brought them to a book club or a party. They're amazing. And also just to let you know, not all my neighbors are vegan, which is, actually, we only have one that's vegan. So when everyone is liking it, that's when you know it's good. So I just added in 1/3 cup of dairy-free yogurt or 83 grams of yogurt. I'm using Forager Project is my go-to. The lovely part about the yogurt, you're not gonna taste it. For those who are like, why the heck are you adding yogurt to your cookies? We also have baking soda in our dry mixture, so that's going to actually neutralize any of the tanginess that you taste normally in the yogurt. So don't worry, it's just going to add a nice, lovely, kind of molten and chewy flavor, and it helps to bind the cookies more together. So just gonna whisk this together. All right, that is perfect. All right, set that aside quickly. I'm gonna go over the dry ingredients. So what we have in here is 160 grams of all-purpose flour, or you can use King Arthur Measure for Measure gluten-free flour. It is a 1-to-1 gluten-free flour blend. It is the #1 brand that I recommend just because I find it to be the most consistent. I know that everyone is really personal with their gluten-free flour blends that they use. I recommend using a 1-to-1 blend that contains xanthan gum. If it doesn't contain xanthan gum, please don't use it. It will not work. So no almond flour, no coconut flour goes into this, please. They will not work, okay? Some people like to use Bob's. I personally have not had a lot of success with it in recent years, so I've switched to just KA. Then we also have some cocoa powder, 1/2 cup or 50 grams, and I'm using Dutch processed cocoa powder. This is super important because this is gonna give you a fudgier cookie. So we're not gonna be using all natural cocoa powder, which typically helps a cookie to rise because it has more acidity in it. We're gonna be using Dutch process, which has lower acidity, so it'll give that fudgier texture. Then we also have 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. So we're just gonna whisk this together until you have the cocoa powder completely combined with the all-purpose flour. So for cocoa powder brands, I also like the Equal Exchange cocoa powder. Valrhona is also a favorite, but I order that online. It's really good. Ghirardelli is good, and the Gets Hard, I believe it's called. All those brands are great. As long as it's Dutch processed, then it's good to go. So back to our batter. We're going to grab our spatula and just add the cocoa powder into the bowl right here. All right, and now we're just going to fold. You also don't need any dairy-free milk to help you mix the dough as well. Sometimes with cookies, you need to add in a tablespoon extra. Not with this recipe. It is perfect. I've made this so many times, I can't even tell you. I'm obsessed with these cookies. So we're just doing gentle folding here. Don't mix the dough because we don't want to activate the gluten too much, which will create like not a great cookie. Super silky, almost like fudge. That's why I love this. All right, so right here, I want you to stop right before all the flour mixture is integrated, and we're going to add in our chocolate chips and our chopped chocolate. So I have a chopped chocolate bar. Use a high quality, it'll always pay off. I'm using endangered species. Not all of their chocolates are vegan, so just make sure that you're reading the ingredients. And then we're also gonna add in chocolate chips. I'm gonna reserve a few of these because I like to press a few chocolate chips onto the top of the cookies. For the chocolate measurements, I mean, it's so cliche, but like you kind of do just like feel it out. Like I say like use a cup, but you can always go more, and then I use a full dark chocolate bar. So these are really, really chocolatey cookies in the best way, and you're just going to love them. It kind of honestly looks like brownie batter, right? Like it's so super thick. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so it is a wet cookie dough. Don't be nervous about this. This looks actually perfect. And now we're going to grab our baking sheets and scoop our cookies. I actually really like to use the darker baking sheets for these cookies just because it is a wet dough and then it'll just prevent them from spreading way too much. So we have our baking sheets lined with parchment paper. I'm using a medium cookie scoop, so that's about 1.5 tablespoons. And let's go for the extra large cookies because I'm feeling like we need to be special today. So I'm gonna do 2 scoops on top like that. It's a wet cookie dough, don't freak out. I've said this a million times, but like I know it looks really wet. It's going to bake perfectly. And we're gonna spread them out well enough because these are gonna be pretty large cookies. It's gonna be delicious, guys. Scoop there. So this will yield, I think, 11 or 12 extra large cookies, which makes my soul so happy. And if you were to use heat-treated flour, then you could absolutely just eat this cookie dough. I mean, it looks like brownie batter. It tastes like brownie batter, but it's gonna bake into the most delicious cookies. So I'm gonna be so happy. This was actually one of my first cookie recipes that I developed, and it kind of went like oddly, like weirdly viral for my account, even though it's not like I've created double chocolate chip cookies, like the idea of it. And ever since then, it's just been one of my most popular cookie recipes and it does taste really good, so. And you might even convert a few people to come to the vegan side, which is always good. I'm always trying to do that. It's just when you can get everything that you want, but vegan, and you're not sacrificing anything, that's the whole point, right? I'm trying to teach people that you don't have to sacrifice anything. I might have been very generous on my scoops. We might be getting 9 extra large cookies and then 1 like regular size cookie. Regular size for an actual human. I just kind of went crazy with my amounts here. All right, so we want kind of like that really classic bakery style look. So I just add a few chocolate chips on top just to give it like a really pretty look once they bake. And it looks really good if you can get a piece of like the dark chocolate bar on there too, but I've thoroughly entrenched those in the dough, it looks like. So we're just going with the chocolate chips, which is still equally delicious. And I'm also gonna kind of scoop the dough so that they bake more round too. On our mini guy, we have to definitely add in some extra chocolate chips because he's looking not as fun and big as the other guys. You can just take a spoon and just like kind of scoop them in so that they're like more perfectly round. I'm mainly concerned about this guy here. And actually, as the dough kind of like sits out more while you're scooping the cookies, the liquid starts to absorb the flour more, so it's more of like a tacky cookie dough instead of like gloopy. Does that make sense? All right. These are ready to go into our oven. We're gonna bake them. Because they're large cookies, I'm gonna bake them for about 15 minutes. Half this size, you're gonna bake around 10 minutes, but always make sure that you look in the oven using the oven light to make sure that your cookies are baking properly. Never really follow the baking time because you wanna go by your own oven, if that makes sense. So let's get these cookies into the oven. The cookies are ready. I'm so excited. So I'm not just some crazy person who just grabbed the baking trays. I actually let them cool for a little bit, and then I used a spoon to just kind of scoop any of the spread edges back in. But now we have some flaky sea salt, so we're just going to top our cookies with some extra sea salt because that just makes them feel a little bit, oh, cats are fighting. That just makes them feel a little bit fancier, which we always like some fancy cookies. Oh, they're fighting, guys. And there you have it, the most perfect vegan double chocolate chip cookies. You're just gonna love these. They taste like a brownie in cookie form. They're so easy to make. They're molten, they're chocolatey. You're gonna love them. They're great any time of year. They're also really, really wonderful to make ice cream sandwiches with. I have a whole vegan ice cream sandwich recipe on the blog that I highly recommend checking out. And yeah, I just think that you're gonna love them. I really wanna bite one. Can I bite one? Okay, taste test. Shut the front door. These are so good. Oh my God. Just go make these. Be sure to check out the full recipe written down below. Just click open the arrow and the link is right there. Also be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification down below so that you'll be notified when more recipe videos like this pop up. And yeah, happy cookie baking. Enjoy. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.